Thank you all so much for sharing another Wednesday. Funny thing is, I don't even know how many Wednesdays that I've done this. We've gone from midday to mornings, midday, evenings. I love my Wednesdays, right? We're talking between the world and AfroEconomics based on a poem by Richard Wright written in 1935, a long time ago, even before I was born. You know, it's a long time ago. And then after that, Coach wrote a book inspired by that poem, Between the World and Me, written by Richard Wright, wrote the poem. Coach took that line, Between the World and Me, because the poem written by Richard Wright was speaking about walking in the woods and coming upon, it starts with, and one morning while in the woods, I stumbled suddenly upon the thing. Stumbled upon it in a grassy clearing guarded by scaly oaks and elms, and the sooty details of the scene rose, thrusting themselves between the world and me. Was a Black man on the ground that had been beaten to death and burned, and the remnants of him are left. And the poem speaks on how horrid the scene was. And so the brother Coates in the book, as he brought it forward to 2015, he is writing a letter to his son, a teenager, and he talks about his experiences in this world as a Black father, as a Black man. Talks about his childhood. His father was a leader in the Black Panther movement, and it just talks about his healing process. Really, beautiful book, a very candid poem, and I encourage you to check it out. And it really made me think about Between the World and AfroEconomics and building a career around a movement, and being alone as a Black female, creating a movement and building a movement, and how lonely it is at times. And the words that I get, the mean words, the abuse, if you follow my Facebook page, AfroEconomics with Bryan, there's people who just come on there to attack AfroEconomics, and I have to manage it well just to delete the comments about. So as we should see, even now in 2018, when we're talking about something that happened in 1935, that there is a new way to kill us, to kill your dream, to grab your life. And as he talks in the book about the value of your life, the value of a Black life, the devaluation of a Black life, the root of AfroEconomics and the 10 principles of it is nothing but goodness, based at its core on God. The 5th principle of AfroEconomics, focuses on the soul of our money and having a good relationship with God. There is nothing bad in it. But because of the goodness in things, sometimes that is which allows you, unfortunately, to be attacked by the world when you are making a commitment to doing the right thing. We're not promised that doing right and doing good, even by your family, will receive the award. But I know, and you must know, that you're doing the right thing, and do it long enough. Die doing the right thing. We all have to die. So we should at least commit our life to that in which we believe in and we know for God's sake it's true. So right before I started, I go to Facebook, in my inbox, there's a man in there who is mad about AfroEconomics also. And he just says that I just feel that this is divisive. And I asked him, how can focusing on the financial empowerment of Black folk be divisive in any way. And of course, he didn't have any response. But that is why it's so important to have these discussions. That is why it's important for us to think clearly about the presentation that we are giving to the world every day as a Black professional. How important you are, how important you are, and how threatening, unfortunately, you can be, to someone who is not as enlightened as you are. So be conscious of that. So some things I want to point out, and I hope, because I streamed this live on the AfroEconomics with JB Bryan, that the hardened heart that inbox and puts the mean things on the page as we try to increase our wealth. And just know that I'm committed to this 100%, to AfroEconomics, a strategic financial program designed for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad. That racism destroys the beauty of life. And it does, and we all need to realize that. But it's a reality that too often we have to live with. Let us not allow hate to give us identity. And it happens a lot because of the things that we go through, the things that I've been through, being the only Black stockbroker in corporate America and seeing people be extra hard, and secretaries not wanting to answer my phone, and consciously or subconsciously making extreme errors, and then blocking my calls, and knowing that I would not be able to. And here it is, 20 years later, that firm that I worked for, a group of Black brokers got together and were able to win a class action lawsuit. But look at what I would have lost had I stayed and just dealt with that throughout my career. So we need to be careful when we're in corporate America. Is it worth not focusing on your purpose and allowing them to rob us from things? And I think about how many careers were robbed, and what if I had given up, because, my boss would ask me, like, or do you think that they treat you this way because you're Black? And other brokers would come up to me and hand me things and say, can you type this for me, and trying to be funny. And they would get mad and move everything off my desk if I was getting a movement, because we would move up the side. They, always have a way to make the brokers be competitive with each other. So one day I was moving forward. So they took everything off my desk because I was moving up the ladder, and dumped it on the other desk, and just to hurt my feelings. And it did. It worked. And somewhere in there, that was before direct deposit times, my check was all down on the bottom of the mess. And it was, I couldn't believe it. And then I was married at that time, and I called him, and he came in there, and all of them just scattered across the room. And to say that you don't realize that we're Black. And if I had brought that up and said, why do you have to run from a Black man? Because he walks in the room when you know that you were wrong. But they felt that it was okay to do that to me, that it was okay to just throw my stuff around, but when he came and attempted to protect me and just acknowledge his wife, you're not going to treat her like that. Amazing the way they scattered. Everybody, like 25, 30 people left the room. It's crazy. So let us not allow hate to give us identity. And quotes that in the book. He says that. But I add on to that. And I said, instead, create a life that allows an existence with less dependence on outside sources. See, if I had stayed, I would be depending on them. And I could not share this story. And I could not have AfroEconomics. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't have this discussion and say, well, that's not in line with our firm objectives. Well, this is my firm objective. This is my purpose. This is what God asked me to do, to help us know that we have to avoid hate by any means necessary and instead create a life that allows an existence with less dependence on outside sources, especially sources that do not want you to be successful. So that's also, I advocate, now this is AfroEconomics, between the world and AfroEconomics. I want to destroy the saying that we have to work twice as hard to get the same thing. And I wrote down these notes because, and as Coach T mentions that in the book too, and I was finally to hear someone say they don't like it either, you know, and as a mother, as a parent, I have constantly always advocated that we do our best. You don't have to lower the bar and only do better than someone else because you don't know if they're doing well enough. That's assuming that they're a top performer. But no, we want to be at our personal peak. We want to be at our personal best. So we want to destroy, because that means that we're working twice as hard. So that means that you're getting the half of the return on your investment. That would be like someone else putting $100,000 in, you know, and they get $200,000 on the investment. You put, you know, $200,000 in, you know, and you get half of the return on the investment. You don't get, you know what I mean? You don't get any money. You don't get the return. You should be getting you should have 400,000. They're putting in less and they're getting more. You're putting in more and you're only getting the same thing. So you're putting in 200 and you're not getting it, you're getting less. So your return on your investment is really negative. We can't afford to do that. So that I write that means you're accepting 50% lower return with an even greater investment. We can't afford to do that anymore. And then, thank you, Dr. X. He said, and now that he would love to help out. Thank you. Looking forward to hearing your story. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Yes, indeed. My friend from California all the way to New York. I love it. And then Preach. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So instead, I want us to destroy that, and let's move to destroy hard at all. So if you just have to work twice as hard as a lazy person, you're still not working at your peak performance. So don't underestimate yourself in comparing yourself to anyone. You come at this world, our kids have to come at this world bringing their all, their peak, more than their all. I'll tell you when your all is. I'll tell you when you finish, right? So instead, let's set a bar higher than we've ever imagined. We must discover how to get the greatest return on our investment and be willing to change, because we can't grow without making a change. Now, between the world and AfroEconomics is that we already know what has happened to us so far. We already know that Wells Fargo was just cited yesterday or the day before or yesterday, whatever the day was, they were cited for calculating mortgage loans. Now, if we look at that, then the research probably will never be released. But the majority of those people who have been impacted by this miscalculation, just like the predatory lending, are going to be people that look like me. So I say to the man who says, is that divisive? No, doing things that impact and hurt my community more than everybody else, that's divisive. That creates the economic and the wealth divide that we have to live with every day. That's divisive. But to think that something that is saying we got to pull up and we got to go and progress together, and we have to make sure that we're not in a position to need them to modify my loan, because I'm going to live within my means anyway, and I don't need you to modify anything, right? Because I'm giving you my business, and you should be grateful. I shouldn't have to sit here and beg you to give me this loan that's guaranteed by the government. So they're getting all of their money back. Now they've dogged you out. didn't give you the modification. You lost all the value that you accumulated in your house because it was foreclosed, and that's not divisive? No, that is divisive. That broke up families. And then they try to say that, well, we're going to give back people about $12,000 to each of the victims. And then, and nobody's talking about it. But this little thing, this AfroEconomics, this is divisive. Lost in the sauce. So plus we are not doing more to get to the same place. Instead, we have been blocked from the table for generations, because it's saying, and I'm going back here to that point of we have to do more to get to the same place. You know what I'm saying? No, we can't do more because you're not even included in it. When you told them, whoever these people are, that I want to do a loan modification because I lost my job, and you did that, you weren't even at the table. AfroEconomics wasn't invited. They didn't have you. 80% of the people asking for this modification represent 14% of the country, but 80% of them are not represented in this calculation of the paperwork. Hence, you turn down 400 in error. And all you got to do is pay millions back to the government, and the victims get about $12,000 a piece. Amazing, the stuff that gets by. That's why AfroEconomics has to be a significant force. We're sitting here and our Congress people are letting that stuff go down. That's happening. They're getting money from them. They're supporting their campaign. They're getting the support. And these people that vote, you vote, get them the job, and then we're not supposed to. No, this is vital that we have a significant voice that stops this predatory stuff that attacks our community. And AfroEconomics is in a position to make those type things happen for us. We need to be able to have a force where we can say, no, those people need to get their money fully compensated for whatever loss that they incurred because they were not given the opportunity to modify a government loan. My goodness. So we have to maximize our creative abilities to make the greatest impact possible. Malcolm X said, going on. Malcolm X said, if you are Black, you are born in jail. Coach says in the book, the ground we walk on is tripwired. Now, I don't know if y'all been living in the world that I've been living in, but he's referring to the truth. I'm walking in the dry cleaners. They mess up my stuff. I complain. They call the police on me. They call the police. Now, they called the police because they wanted me to lose my mind and get arrested and get in trouble. Now, here I am, a double-educated undergrad, University of Virginia, graduate school, Virginia Commonwealth University, fully articulate. They called the police. All I could say was that I thank God that I'm not the person she thought I was. The dry cleaners called the police. I complained in the printer. Now, I was talking about this just last year. I go in the printer, they mess up the print work, they got my money, and I tell them that, you've done wrong. The guy's very argumentative, and I say, you're wrong. So the customers decide, there's nobody else in there that looks like me. The customers decide that they're going to tell me that I shouldn't complain about what they did to my money so that they can get, because they're behind me in line, and I just need to get away, accept it, take it as it is, even though it's wrong, get out of the way because I'm bothering them. The ground that we walk on is tripwire. So I complained to the printer. The only thing that saved that from being extremely outrageous, now here I'm a grown Black woman, grown, and they're going to do this stuff to me. Now, this man. So I tell this lady who don't look like me, you have nothing to do with this. Stay out of this. And he defends her because I tell her to stay out of it. The only thing that calms it down is because a black man comes in and says to me, sister, is everything okay? And everybody scatters. Now you think that you black men that are listening to me right now, you gotta know the power that you have. Now I'm telling you at least 2 incidences in my life how you helped me. And the sad part is there's nobody there to help you. What do you do? What do you do? What does Michael Brown do but lay in the street and die? Now, because of this, you're trying to tell me that between the world and AfroEconomics and Mr. Inbox Man, who says it's divisive, what are we to do? It's obvious that I can't even complain. You're going to take my money, and if I say I'm going to complain, then you have the right to call the police because you're offended by an articulate, nappy-head black woman. Sick. So my roommate, now we're going back on this one. I enter University of Virginia, happy as I can be. My roommate refuses to sleep with a black girl in the room. And I go on forward. I'm making money. I get to the car dealership, and the car dealership, I said, I want this car. I fill out the paperwork. He gives me the paperwork. I fill it out. I fax it to him, and then he never runs it because he says he doesn't believe the income. So I call and I go, y'all never call me back. You know, what happened? And the finance lady says, well, hold on a second. She said, she said, this is how I find out that they didn't believe that my income. So it said, I told him that women make money too, but this won't no woman issue. They want me to think it's a woman issue because she felt better saying that. No, it's a black woman issue. AfroEconomics, between AfroEconomics and the world. Y'all gotta believe it. This is real. And so the wife, now this is what we can do to each other, unfortunately. So the wife of an advisor that looks like me, that works for a major firm, calls a newspaper and says, why did you ask her? Now, she picks on me. The black lady picks on the black lady. This is because she was culturally more comfortable putting me down than putting down the other white lady. And there was an article about women and investing. There was me and a white lady. The black lady, married to the black man in the business, says that, why didn't you choose my husband? Now I call him to ask him, why would you do that? Now the kid, he's younger than me. Now I pioneered for him. So I call him and then he has his wife call me back. I was so passionate and disappointed about what they did. I started crying with them when I talked to her on the phone. I said, sister, here I am, a woman by myself. I have been doing this business since 1993. I pioneered for your husband. He's even been in it like the last decade. Why would you choose me? Why would you choose me? Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Yes, you did. She felt that it was okay for her to go into that system and attack me, who made it possible for her husband to be doing what I'm doing. I said, don't you realize that firm is going up to your husband every day and telling him to be like me? Telling him to get my customers' business at their firm. I get calls every week with companies that want me to do this for them. And I have to tell them why. Why? We don't get it. You are valuable. Your business is valuable. Our black wealth matters. No matter what they tell you, our black wealth matters. It does. And then, so I'm getting this, as an advisor in this business, I was using broker dealers. Now I'm 100% independent. but I was using broker dealers to clear my trade because they, because I felt that that was going to help me. That was, it made my life, I must admit, is easier, straight easier. So I'm trying to do what's easier. And then they write me and say, we don't like what you're doing. You advertise one more time like that, and we will sever our relationship with you. So I did it. And I kept going. And they said, we warned you that if you did that stuff again, you know what I mean? We would get you. And I talked straight to God. And I said, God, I can't back down. I got to live this life 100%. But we don't have any idea the sacrifices that Black entrepreneurs make. I know this one right here. This one right here. Your wealth matters to me so much. It is everything. I've given my all to serve you because you are important to me. This is, there's people in the Bible who said they were here to bring the Israelites, or, Andrew's a minister, you can, help me out. But, I know that there's people who were chosen to lead their people. Nowhere in the Bible did God say that's divisive because you want to help the Jews get out, or you want to help, these people get out, or you want to help the Samaritans get a better life. You want to help them? No. Till the end of time, we will have different people. And unfortunately, until the end of this, there are going to be some people who have some problem with you just because of the color of your skin. Not our problem. I remember my boss when I was at working for a firm, and the girl wasn't answering my phone, and she put my phone on block, and he asked me, this is supposed to be my boss, and it's probably illegal. And he asked me, do you think she's not answering your phone because you're Black? And I said, sir, it's my job to find clients for this company. It's her job to answer my phone. If she's not answering my phone because I'm Black, that's your problem, not mine, because I'm doing my job. So he tells me, well, I think you intimidate her because you have a master's degree. So just apologize to her. I said, apologize to her for what? Well, she said that you told her she wrote down the wrong phone number. She did. Just apologize to her. So I go back to my seat, and I sit down, and he calls. I'm telling you, 2 minutes, I sit down. Did you apologize to her? So they're all like in cahoots. We're going to get that Black girl sitting, the only Black person in the room. We're going to get her to apologize. I was like, I have no problem apologize. So I walk over there, whatever her name's, Mary Ellen. I apologize. I can't believe there's a brother who wrote a book said corporate America is killing Black folk. If there are people out there who are still going through that nonsense, I don't know how you do it, because that was blatantly crazy. And you gotta ask me if she's doing it because I'm Black. That was sick. He's sick. So I'm doing my workshops this between the world and AfroEconomics. So I'm doing my workshops all the time. Had this place I leased this office, paid 8 years, paid on time. AfroEconomics, doing my little doing my little workshops. All of a sudden I start like really putting AfroEconomics front and center, because remember, I'm set free. I get rid of the broker, sever our relationships, you know what I'm saying? Free, totally independent, 100% independent, registered investment advisory firm on their own. So I'm doing my workshops full steam ahead. Black professionals coming in. They cancel my lease. Yep. I said, what's up? What's up? Well, I don't really like the kind of people that you have coming in here. Last year, folks. Last year, 8 years of paying on time. So we had a section in the lease that said, if we choose to end your lease for any reason that benefits us, I couldn't even make this stuff up. This is true. That we can sever it and give you 1 month rent. So we get to the end. Now I decide I'm going to sue them. So we go to court and they go, well, you have to have a lawyer. So they make you have to go and spend money in order, even if they're wrong. It's sad, but because you're corporate, so I'm going to sue them. So I go to court and the judge says to him, because he doesn't even want to give me that. His contract says you got to give me the 1 month rent. He don't want to give me that. Now this man is not even from the United States of America. He already has bought into the idea that you can treat me bad. Sad. So we go in there and the judge tells him, this is really bad that you have done, because this Bryan seems like a really nice person. He's sick. He's mad. He's just sick now. Now it says, but you have the right to put her out of her lease, but you definitely are going to give her that 1 month rent. I mean, he is so mad. He goes, with his broken English, and he's like, I'm gonna appeal. You know what I mean? I said, do whatever you want to do, but you need to be thanking me for paying 8 years to you for this nonsense. Now, granted, by the grace of God, that's why we have to be on our P's and Q's, because if I was paying that man late, he would have gone in there and embarrassed me and said, well, she just da-da-da-da, and every month she's da-da-da-da. I mean, they get us. So we have to dot our I's, cross our T's, and that's not doing extra. That's doing right. We can't do that. We can do right. It doesn't matter to me if Jim Bob can do it and get away with it. It doesn't matter to me. I have to keep my relationship with God right. I have to do right. I want this opportunity. Everybody, by the grace of God, is not an idiot like him, but you got to make sure that you carry yourself accordingly and make sure that you have your emergency fund, that you have your bills paid on time, that you don't need to depend on a system that may or may not work for you. If we look at it statistically, it's not going to work in our favor. Like, all of us ain't going to be able to get the jet. Now, maybe one day, but maybe not. And who's to say if Jay-Z wasn't a hip hop artist that he wouldn't be driving in a car too? They would not have to maybe they stayed in their lane. Because ask Bill Cosby how hard it is to get out of your lane. Bill, it's okay. You can do jokes, but you can't buy NBC. You got to really be conscious. But I'm not saying that we need to stay in our lane. But what I'm saying is, if you get out of your lane and you want your world to broaden, you better have your stuff straight. Don't go and leave yourself wide open. I'm going to go to court and I'm not paying on time. I went into court and that man paid. That judge said, look, give her money, because I was doing my stuff. Cover it, right? Wow, it's so true. So the solution, and I'm going to let y'all go. We talking tonight. Thank you for staying with me. The solution, be excellent for your own sake. Exceed anything that you have ever seen on this planet. I'm telling you, I dominate. I don't care where you work. I don't care where he works. There ain't no broker that's more committed to their customers than me. I dominate. You call my phone, I answer my phone. My people call you. My people want you to be successful. That's all we do, is create success. That's it. No days off. That's it. That's what we do. Dominate. I'm exceeding. You're extreme. You leave me and you see if anybody else does you as good as we do. AfroEconomics team is committed. They can't take me. Most brokers have a turnover every 5 years. They lose every client they have. My first client left me because she went to heaven. That's it. So let's look at this. Be excellent. Always have an emergency fund. Always have an emergency fund. Always communicate with your family. Communicate with each other. Y'all got to be on the same team. You have to. And make sure that you have a spouse that understands you and will make sure that you are protected at all times. You have to. It doesn't matter what color they are, but they got to understand you. Never be a coward. Don't back down. You gotta live every day like it's your last. You can stand up for yourself without giving them a way out. What I'm saying is that if you want to stand up, you got to stand up for yourself. But if you lose your mind because you're standing up for yourself, like if I was in the print shop and I lost my mind and I started cussing and screaming and all this, then you give them a way out. Don't give nobody a way out. Right? It said, Kathy said, whoever made you angry, encourage undeniable fire to continue to move forward and encourage us. I love it. Nobody made me angry. Oh no, God is good. So never be a coward, and you stand up for yourself without giving them a way out. They want you to do something to make sure that they come out on top. Don't do it. Cross all your T's and dot all your I's. Own your mistakes and build on that lesson. Own the mistake. I overspent. I messed up. My marriage fell apart. Anything, whatever the mistake is, own it and let's move forward. We got to reconstruct. You got to move forward. I haven't been saving enough for something. My retirement plan is out of whack. I don't even know what it is. I got an old job. I haven't looked at that money. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. You have to, principle 3, you have to organize your things. Did you see the video I was talking about? I pulled my last will and testament out on Monday to show y'all what will happen to your money if you pass away today. Where is your last will and testament? Get it right. Own your mistakes. Build on the lesson. Be careful who you partner with in any deal. Be careful who you partner with. Read the fine print. Know who you're dealing with, right? Yeah, we're going to go into business together. Do you realize now you're responsible for everything that they do? Don't you realize that? Yeah, they got money and y'all going to put your money together. Yeah, But if they mess up, you're both going to lose all of your money. So be conscious who you partner with. And between the world and AfroEconomics, don't drag things out. We hold on too long. You know, when it's wrong, it's wrong. Cut your losses. I'm going to tell you, we got a member that, oh my goodness, her let's just call her YM. That woman, when she is tired of something, I have learned so much about her from like zero tolerance of stuff. Like she was organizing her things and she said, nope, they haven't done what they were supposed to do with that. Let's move it. They haven't done what they were supposed to do with that. Let's move it. Nope. No, I'm out. Get them, take care of my money. That's the way you have to be. If you don't take control of your stuff, I mean, with so many people, JB 2010, they still doing the same thing. I've been meaning to call you back. Girl, I see you on TV. I'm going to call you. 2018, they still ain't done nothing. Still losing money. Still got bad investments. Still the real estate property is empty. Still gone. Still marriage still bad. Still haven't done what they're supposed to do to get it better. You got to improve. We do. So don't drag things out. If something isn't working, start preparing to move on, especially in a job. If you feel that you're in a job that has no future, create a future for yourself. And also, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not an escape. It's not an escape. You hear my story? Do you hear my story? I don't drink and I don't smoke. Thank God. Because if I had to go through those things with bad habits, It's hard enough trying to manage what I put in my mouth. You know, I'm telling you, entrepreneurship is not an escape. And some people are like, I'm gonna leave it, I'm gonna start my own business. You better think about it. You better know everything that exists in the world still impacts you as an entrepreneur. Oh, the economy is bad, I'm gonna start our own business. Don't you know that the economy impacts business, all business, even your own business? It's not an escape. It's not an escape. It has to be something you really want to do. It is what I said. I put it up. Let me see what I wrote. What did I write? So make sure you know the truth about being in business and prepare to work harder than you ever imagined possible to create the best business and life for you. But if you're married, I was married when I started my business. My husband told me the first week I started my business, you're crazy, I don't want you, and I don't want the business. Boom, just like that. It can change things. And in hindsight, I get that. Like, that wasn't what he wanted. It was my dream. It wasn't his. Seriously, it's my fault. I take full responsibility for it because I wanted to start this business. I really didn't thoroughly communicate, that this is, I'm quitting my job. I'm quitting my job. I'm starting my firm. And this is it. So, hey, right? Entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and if you want to do better than me, if you want to start your own business, make sure that your whole family is in on it. If you want to save your family, but I tell you, in hindsight, but when I was going through it, I can laugh about it now, but when I was going through, I was like, hey, oh my, golly. So don't get caught up. Also, don't get caught up on political figures and focus on knowing the laws. Our community is way too caught up on Trump. Way too caught up. We need to focus on laws, how laws impact us, especially tax laws, how to maximize this new tax change, how to maximize any change that's going forward, how to make sure that anything that's going on that can help you helps you. We can hate him later. You're going to have a lot of time to hate him later. But he is doing fine. He's doing fine. We got to make sure we're focused on it. Don't get caught up in the political figures of politics. Just make it different. Be conscious of who you vote for. Locally. On every level, right? So get involved, but make sure you know how it's going to impact your community specifically. And also make note that I said that about tax laws. I'm going to do more and more about tax laws. Lack of capital due to lack of equity, due to lack of time, because our community hasn't had a lot of time to build equity. So the biggest challenge for our Black businesses is getting capital, but a lot of the capital is based on equity and ownership. So, somebody having cash, and even people that come in from overseas, other countries, you don't know how much money they all put together or how much they had to bring in with them when they came to the country to start their businesses and things. We don't have that most of the time. So we have to start our businesses like I did, with customers. Work. My business is 100% debt free. We can do that. You can do that. You don't have to think about, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? No, adjust your spending, pay off your debts, work your business, build it, give it time, take care of your health. It will work out. I don't like loans anyway. Business loans, it depends on the nature of your business. But if you're in a business that needs a loan, like you have heavy equipment operations and stuff like that, they're going to loan you money. They'll lease you that stuff because they have collateral. So, but that other stuff, they're not going to loan it to you because it doesn't have any collateral left on it. It doesn't have any collateral attached to it. But I mean, we even have like, I have the capacity to help you find out about asset-based lending, but you got to have the assets to get the lending. So we're working on that. We're working on that. We got a whole world ahead of us in AfroEconomics. Y'all just come with me, walk with me, stay with me. We're going to build on this. We're going to build on this. Just stay conscious. Just stay woke. Angie says, stay woke. That's right. We're going to do this thing. Says, I'm going to share y'all some of these tabs. I want to say, also avoid in the future of AfroEconomics, I want us to avoid materialism. It leads to financial slavery, and it leads to a lack of financial freedom, and it leads to health problems. You know, just avoid materialism. This I was listening to something this morning, and they were talking about the greatest fear in the United States now, probably all over the world, is fear of other people's opinion. No? Fear of other people's opinion stopped me from really pushing AfroEconomics years ago because I didn't want inboxes like I got today about, oh, what is that all about? Da, 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 da. I get calls and they go, why don't you focus on women? We have government money for women. You could do a women thing. Why don't you, what is it? What is it about us? We must be, you know what I'm saying? We are pretty strong people. I know we are. With all of this effort to make sure that you don't have the service you deserve, that's something to think about. You got to have something going on. Must be something good about you. We are good people. We built this country. I like Black because that lets you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Black. I'm talking about my ancestors that were slaves that still have a farm in North Carolina. I'm talking about Black. I'm Black. I'm Black. I'm the seed of somebody that didn't look like me, that wasn't married to somebody that didn't look like them, that created all these yellow folk. You know what I'm saying? There was nobody. There was no mixed race love affair like they try to say about Jefferson and his slave. I'm Black. And I continue to be discriminated against, unfortunately. But we have to be committed to being all that we can be. We can all be. I have no bitterness against anybody of any color. My heart is so full of love. I don't even have the capacity to hate anybody. I don't even have the capacity to hate the man that left me the week I started my business. I don't. No, he didn't leave me. He put me out of my house. I can't even hate him. My house put me out. But one more Tyler Perry thing, I ain't sit on no front step. You don't want me, I'm gone. Don't worry. I put all my little stuff in my Nissan. But you know what? I could do that because I was debt-free with a whole bunch of education and a dream and an office and some good credit. I could do that. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got that, then when stuff hits you, it could have been anything. Well, you gotta make sure you're on top of your game. You have to make sure you are on top of your game. That ain't no Black thing, like just because you Black and this and that. No, you have to be on top of your game. Everybody needs to be on top of their game. And you especially, because you're not getting the extra. You don't have anything extra working in your favor. No. The grace of God and you and your commitment to excellence and integrity and keeping your God-given good name, developing your legacy through good work. So be conscious of that. Lord, y'all, I could talk about this forever. I can't believe we talked this long. Look, you like, we ain't talk. You were talking, JB, but I had a lot to say. I love you, Andrew. Your heart is truly powerful in the hands of God. Yes, indeed, y'all. Yes, indeed. My love for God is in full color. I love you all, too. I got nothing but good. I just want you to be so successful. I want your life to be pure. I want to, send love out to all of my brothers and sisters of every color, and know that AfroEconomics is about building up the Black community so that we can have a strong nation for all of us. You can quote me on that. It's in the front page of the book. Get the book. If you want to know what AfroEconomics is about, get the book. If you hear anything in there about hate, you have read the wrong book. Somebody that no, not at all. Mine is about empowerment, and hate pulls us down. I don't like being mad at people because it makes me weak. But power is in our knowledge, in our commitment to our excellence, and in the love that we give each other. Stay empowered, y'all. Stay empowered. Let's keep in touch. And if you have any interest in membership, please email me at jb@afroeconomics.com. Craziness. The web service provider I use is GoDaddy. And I'm just going to put out a public complaint to GoDaddy at AfroEconomics.com, like right here, that if I click refresh, their little security system is all whack. So AfroEconomics.org, the membership site is fine. And then GoDaddy, they're gonna give me some money back. Look, I'm gonna tell them. I told everybody in my workshop that GoDaddy is bad. You're gonna give me my money back, because that's ridiculous. They're gonna do something. That's crazy. They should be offering it. They said, tell me 2 hours. Well, how do we know? I'm telling you, y'all, stay on top of your game, because if I owed them money, I wouldn't have no leg to stand on. So when you paid them your money and they're doing crazy stuff, then you can stand it, do what you got to do. We just have to go without, we have to save. We got to have that emergency fund. You got to have that, be conscious, make good choices, be disciplined, avoid materialism, and follow your dreams. You can dream and don't settle. We just have to make different choices. Yes, things will be a lot easier for me if I was working at some firm, but would I smile in my sleep? I bet I smile in my sleep. I don't know. I ain't got no husband to ask, but I'll tell you, I bet I do. I'm going to put a camera on me, see what I look like when I sleep. But I'm going to tell you, just make sure whatever you do, you're happy with it. God bless you. Love y'all.